We're back.
Redefine. We're back. We're ready to go in the garden.
Redefine me.
Oh. Ooh. Well,
hard-hitting question.
This is a redefining moment. You are now a podcast host.
Mm-hmm.
That is
not the biggest redefining moment in my life, but close.
A close second.
Having babies and being a podcast host is like the same thing. Yeah. This episode is brought to you by us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to just talk about ourselves. And Lycra.
Of course. And Lycra.
This episode is brought to you by us in Lycra.
Yeah. So we're both big workouters.
Yeah.
If that's a word. We work out every day unless we're like, we can't, which is rarely happening, but we don't ever really work out together.
We don't, because we also like we also feel the very same about working out of like, I'm not trying to compete with anything.
No.
I'm not signing up for some race. Did you ever do one of those dumb, tough Mudder things? Like people were crazy about that stuff and like they want to compete and they want to like, I just can't. I'm not here to compete. I already am coaching and I'm just trying to go and feel good and look good and be good and like not.
And when my trainer or my gym coach is like, Leslie, what are your fitness goals?
I'm like fitness goals.
I'm like, to be a fit, strong mommy. But we are going to go to hot yoga, hot Pilates together.
We definitely are. Because we both love a good sweat. We love a hot class.
We do.
And we love a juice afterwards.
Yes.
So we will definitely be
doing that.
that.
And we hike together. I mean, some people consider it a workout. We consider it a working session.
Yeah. We just like go walk and talk.
But our heart rate gets up.
Oh, yeah.
When we
I think that we've done like 5-6 miles or whatever when we do it. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
We should do that soon.
Yeah, we should.
Hi, everyone. It's Arielle here. This episode was recorded prior to USA Volleyball's January 30th announcement regarding children under the age of 8 being allowed to accompany their parents on the bench of a sanctioned match. We spoke with USA Volleyball CEO John Speraw on January 30th and thanked him and his organization's efforts to rectify the situation for parents. Okay, back to the show.
The volleyball world is being rocked right now.
Why? What's happening?
Some people who are listening to this might be following my social media accounts, but we've had quite the year. I think this is something that we were running into a long time ago, but this whole babies on benches thing needs to be spoken about. And I'm getting a ton of support to speak about it. So I feel very, very good about where I'm at with it right now, but there's a problem going on.
Okay, explain the problem for the people that are not aware of what's happening.
For sure. So 7 years ago, I had my first child. 5 years ago, I had another baby. And when I was coaching, I was very sensitive to having the kids around and on the bench with me when I was actively doing it. I didn't want anybody to think that I couldn't handle it. And so I wanted help. And it was what made me most comfortable and feel most like myself.
So you thought it was actually a weakness to have your baby around you?
I wasn't really comfortable with it yet. And even the thought of, I remember putting the baby carrier on for the first time and I was like, fuck no, this does not look like me. This is not me. I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable with it. Matt would wear the baby carrier and be like, I love it. Like, this is amazing. And I was like, I don't like it. I just don't feel like I was sensitive to it when I was dealing with this. There are a lot of women and I have a mom has a 8-month-old in my club right now. Who's coaching. I have a mom who is pregnant with twins that has a 5-year-old right now. I have a bunch of women who are considering having kids and in the process of having kids in my club coaching for me right now. This summer, I had a coach who was an assistant coach on the team for 16-year-old boys. She had a 4-week-old with her.
Fresh baby.
Baby. In the gym with her in Southern California. There is a rule in the AAU volleyball handbook stating that anybody who's not a listed roster member cannot be on the bench.
No exceptions.
That's what the rule is.
Okay.
When you buy a membership to be a part of AAU volleyball, the option is like 5 years old and older. There is no option for 5 years old and younger. So first off, you can't really buy a membership.
So they're saying that under 5, there is actually no way to.
Right. With a newborn baby, I'm ready to test this one. I'm ready to something is wrong here. This mom who was coaching for us, I watched it happen, absolutely harassed.
Wow.
Referees, eyes on the court, scouting it out, making sure, and referees coming up to her saying, you cannot have the baby on the bench. And there were times where she would hand the baby to a parent. I will tell you, as a mother, you don't want your baby with you all the time when you're in the middle of doing things. Yeah. No problem. There are times where you have to have your baby with you. You just have to. And it is your choice if you have your baby with you or not having your baby with you. So I watched it happen. Referees going saying you can't have the baby on. A game got stopped. I legitimately threw down on the court and was like, we're not playing. Yeah. And I told every single parent there on both teams, this is what is happening. I'm standing up for what is right here. We're not doing it. We're not doing this. We'll hold this court up all day. We're not going to do this. This is not acceptable to say that. And every single parent there was like, yeah, you're right on this one. This is wrong. Trying to say that the baby can't be with the mother, that's no way. We ended up buying a membership and just saying the birthday was wrong and buying a membership and putting the name on there and saying this is the membership for the kid.
For the rest of that tournament.
So the baby's on the roster now. That also takes up a roster space from that team, from somebody else, a roster space for that team. So that's not a viable option. The whole thing seems to be, in volleyball at least, really whack. I then started posting about it because we had this happen. I started posting about it because I was like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not doing this. And got a ton of response and feedback. And then fast forward to this year, I had a girl reach out to me saying that the referees were using my videos in their trainings for referees, saying that they need to kick kids off the bench.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Right, exactly. That's not what I thought I was going to hear either. Of they're using my content to try and make sure that they are putting their foot in the ground on this rule. I've gotten hundreds of messages from mothers saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've stopped coaching because of this. That's why there's such a shortage of
women coaching, is because they know that that's not
1000%. And so many people have attacked me on the don't go after referees, and referees have a hard enough job as it is. They're just following the rules. And I'm like, you know what? There's a shortage of referees and there's a shortage of coaches.
Exactly. Female.
100%. And specifically female coaches. There's a shortage of good coaches. Yeah. So we have a major issue with pushing women out, specifically in volleyball right now. It's a women-dominated sport in this country, and we are teaching little girls that you can't balance both of these things. You have to choose. And so many people are having to choose. And when I was doing this and having these kids and having them in the convention center and coaching at the same time, I had help, but I was running into a bathroom to breastfeed after and doing that stuff. And there should be more support for women doing this. I've this week been tagged in the same video hundreds of times that ESPNW posted saying with a mom with a carrier coaching a youth basketball team.
I tagged you too. Yes. I was like, wait, what's up? So they can do this in basketball.
So they can do it in basketball
volleyball?
And they can't do it in volleyball. So now there's more information now coming out of we actually do have a problem in volleyball here.
Even for our league, the NWSL, we've come such a long way in helping support our moms in the league, right? Having the childcare. What do they do when they get to the stadium? Who's taking care of their kids? What's paid for? It's taking so long, and proud of where we're at, but there's still so much more to go.
Yep.
All right, intermission, time to close the doors.
Kids are home.
Girls are home. Hey, girls.
Hey.
Hi. If you could sum up our styles, it'd be just Lycra, Lululemon. Yep. That's what I am.
Yep.
We can do it all.
We have to be able to move, and Lycra helps us move.
Yeah. It's flexible, but it also goes back to your shape very easily.
Yep.
The materials are high performing. You can just tell it's such good quality. And when I do put on something that doesn't have Lycra in it, I'm like, no, it's not going to work. Izzy, do you know what Instagram is?
My kids do. Because they have people coming up to me all the time in the grocery store saying, I love following you on Instagram.
Or TikTok or something. I've tried so hard to keep it away from the kids.
Honestly, I've got lots to say about this, but I'm all for it.
Why?
Because I am an adult that is educated in social media.
Yeah.
And I know how to navigate this. I'm going to teach them how to navigate it. I have to do a good job of teaching my children how to navigate the world of online.
True.
I think hiding them from it.
You're not hiding. You're waiting until they're a certain age where their brain actually is in a place.
I'm not letting them on it.
Yeah.
And scrolling.
Yeah. But I'm saying like,
for them to know what it is and know what
course.
I use it for.
Of course.
And know what it can do. I think that it's an education that I try to give. I think I want my kids to know about branding. I want my kids to know I want my kids to use these platforms for like making themselves look great. It's not none of this is real. Like it's all strategic. It's all.
But also though, isn't that sad that you have to like
100%? But it's
that
the
makes
world.
me actually sad. Like I want them to like care more about who they are as a person,
100%.
The way they make people feel and how they go about their livelihood than I care about what kind of brand or persona they're trying to put on.
Yes. I also think that the brand stuff goes into not just your own personal brand, but how smart, like it's a game. Like, yes, what I do, I think I talk about this with my team all the time. What I do with my team on the inside of my team, my coaching, my training, that's my ethos of what I do.
Yeah.
How we put ourselves out there is strategy.
Our youngest are playing on the same basketball team this season, the Warriors. Which Izzy is super pumped about. Yeah. She wore Steph Curry's on Saturday.
Hallie's Draymond for sure.
Yes. Oh, honey, not sure she performed like Steph, but at least looks good.
Yeah.
And then my middle, your oldest,
are
on the Lakers together.
Yep.
We both missed their basketball games this weekend.
We were out and about.
Yeah, we were out and about, but we'll be there.
Yep.
Well,
actually, you'll be there. I won't be there. I'm in LA this weekend, but
I'll
you'll be there.
I'll be rooting, supporting hard, cheering hard.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's
Ricky will be screaming, "Dunk it!"
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be great.
And they can barely hit the free throw.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fun. Basketball season. The girls did soccer season together in the fall.
Yep.
I think a thing that keeps coming up, and I'm getting tagged a lot on, is these Instagram accounts from girls that they're playing against. So I'm like, who's this? And I'll go to the account and it'll be like a kid. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I follow the kid to their account to see like what's happening here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Are these parent
run Instagram accounts?
Yeah. I don't think they're 8-year-olds with their own phone and Instagram account running it. It's their parents that are doing this. And I went to my social media a couple months ago and I said, why? Like, what am I missing here? Why are parents doing this? And I'm curious to get your take on like, A, why? And then like, B,
what's your take on it?
Well, I've got some interesting feedback from people when I asked the community. But what I'm hearing is like, parents feel at any age that it's not too early to start putting their kids out there for recruiting purposes. And I'm so interested by that. I'm like, okay.
I'm so anti this.
I'm like, let's just take, for example, since we're talking about 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like your child needs to get recruited at 8 years old? Why do they need?
They're trying to get a leg up. It's just this leg up, or like I'm trying to do everything I can.
It's insane.
I mean, listen, NIL is NIL. Like, it's a real thing. It's the branding stuff is important.
Understood. But at what age do you feel like, okay, this feels like a good age or a realistic age? I realize in this time, like maybe it's hard to put an age on it or a number, but at what point do you feel like, okay, for you, what point would you feel comfortable putting your girls out there for branding purposes or for
their sports?
Yes. We're talking all sports right now. We don't know about the modeling, the dancing world. That's a whole nother world, but let's just talk sports.
I think that if my child is elite, and I'm talking mopping other kids, like, which to say my children are not, they are very normal little girls. I ain't putting them out there training like for real. It's a joke if I do, but like, we're not, no way. I think that is so try hard. And so, I mean, that's maybe mean of me to say, but like, I am anti, I don't think a kid looks back on that in 20 years and thinks, oh yeah, that's what got me to where I was going to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you think that parents are setting their child up for
failure with that? I think that your kid is going to look at themselves like, this is the expectation. And I'm all for good expectation and like healthy, work hard, train hard, whatever.
Yeah.
But the expectation to, for children doing ladders and to like that kind of stuff, like in like putting highlight reels for 8-year-olds. No,
there's
way.
A lot of highlight reels out there.
No.
I'm getting tagged on highlight reels, the way the kids are training, these private sessions that kids are attending to. I mean, I didn't have a private session when I was growing up. Now,
if the kid wants it, if the kid's the one saying, I want it, then I'm taking them and I'm probably not going to be highlighting it as much.
Well, things have changed. Kids are not only taking these privates, but they're being highlighted like I'm going to this and that. But it's when I ask the question, I'm like, is it a way to get recruited? It's a way I got a response like
recruiting is not the answer. That's the only answer that I'm not taking.
Well, I'm pretty sure an 8-year-old hasn't been recruited yet to college. I think around like 13 is when now
13,
kids are starting,
14
right?
is like the youngest.
Yeah. But also I heard from parents like it's a way to start building their brand as an athlete at 8. But I also think that there has to be part of this, like where parents are doing this to fulfill something that they've lacked. Like
100%.
They're doing it because it makes them feel good or it fills their way of being proud of their children in a way. But I think about that child. And like you said, is that setting them up for success or failure?
Like if the kid wants to do something, the kid's going to do something. Yeah. And it doesn't come from somebody else. And you can support all you want. I want to teach my kids how to create a brand and to like use social media to their benefit, not to their detriment. And I want them to be exposed to these things because this is the real world. But I think that there's so much of a focus at the younger ages of different things that I would rather be spending my time on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the branding component, all that I think will come as they get older. But when Ricky and I talk about like, okay, girls, what are the 3 goals today? Like having fun, enjoying the game.
Having some gratitude towards people. Doing like thinking, being respectful. Like
like
totally. Supporting your teammates. Like being 100%.
Teammate. Hopefully like them.
They'll have enough failures in all of those things that like they're going to have anyways.
Right now is so high for kids so young that I don't know. It's very interesting to me, this whole social media thing with kids. And I want to get your take, but I also like, for so long just want my girls to be the leaders in this. Like you drive.
Yep.
You continue to tell me how much you want. Like, I want them to play multiple sports.
Yep.
I want them to be a normal kid.
Totally.
And you know what? After school, actually today, they don't have practice. And I want to take them down to Bagby and they're going to play basketball and, like just be a normal kid too. Yeah. So there's that part of it too, where you're just like,
we also come at this in sport from a different lens of there's already going to be expectation on our children.
For sure.
That's going to happen. My children in volleyball, your kids in soccer, like, having parents in sports, like there's already expectation there. Yeah. I don't want to add more to that.
No.
There's no reason to. And if they hate volleyball or they hate soccer or they whatever, and they like decide like this isn't for me, that's great. Totally. Like no problem. Like I don't like certain things either. And I'm not, especially with the personality, each one of these kids have different personalities. Somebody tells me what to do, I'm not doing it. Like that's just, I'm doing the opposite. Like that's, so like for my children, I would love to find something that they love, whatever it is, and like support them in that and help them with the skills that I have. The best branding that I could do for them is brand my own self, have my own career, do my own thing, and they'll get support as that comes as well.
Yeah, but like for me, playing on the U.S. women's national team, a lot of the women that were most successful, and I think about Heather O'Reilly, it's because she loved it so much.
She was the one that did it.
She was the one.
Yeah.
And her career lasted as long as it did is because she was the one that drove it from a young age, and she wanted more and she worked at it, and she saw the things that came along with success and wanted more and more and more. And, you know, she rarely had times where she had to step away from the game. And that is a true gift. Like I look back at, you know, the way I grew up too, and my parents they didn't know anything about soccer. They just wanted to support me because they saw how much I loved it. And they're like, okay, I think you should try out here and go to this level, and how I like climbed a ladder that didn't know existed. You had a ladder and you knew what your future could be.
There was definitely a part for me that was like, I want to make my parents proud of what I'm doing. But there was also such a confidence that I had when I stepped on a volleyball court when I was 13 years old, and I was better than other kids because I knew the game a little bit more.
You literally watched the game as a baby.
And it was just an IQ thing for me. And so like, and there was a confidence that I had of like, oh, I know how to do this. I want to do something I'm successful at. And then it evolved from there. And then it became, oh, I've decided that I'm going to train like this. Oh, I've decided that I'm going to really compete and get better and like do the whole thing. But it was my decision. It wasn't anybody else's decision.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're having this conversation. Like, and I when I'm getting tagged, I'm like, gosh, these kids are so young yet. they're not in these conversations because they're so young. Right. And so the decision's being made for them. Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just hope at the end of the day that these children aren't affected negatively by it.
I hope that the intention is right.
Yeah.
And because I know your parenting style and where you're at with things. And so if you took videos of your kids and were posting them with,
and I do,
whatever,
I do post stories of my girls playing. Like so, I do.
When you do that, and if it was of Gabby outside doing ladders and this and that or whatever, and like training, I'd be like, that's real. That's what they're doing. That's what they've decided that they wanted to do. That's what you guys have empowered them to make the decisions of like, that's what I'm doing.
You know, my girls are like, oh yeah. You know, like when they start to learn, they're being tagged on other people's. I'm like, it's our world. I get that. I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate it with you.
Yeah. It's a,
work in progress?
It's a work in progress for sure. We both are going to go through so many things that we don't even know are coming with this, and our kids are going to have struggles and we're going to have struggles with our kids. But it's just navigating it and trying to find a reasonable way to help these kids grow and have a long-term mentality with it of like, we're trying to get to a healthy adult place with our kids. There's so many people that like don't want to let their kids go. They want their kids to be,
and I get that.
I know it's like their baby forever. But there's also like, we're trying to let them go and grow up and have these experiences and have these hard things happen. I was talking to somebody about how do you raise a child with resilience, and the first thing you would do is to put them in a tough situation.
Let them fail. Right. Let them have to figure it out.
You have to figure it out. And so that is especially we've talked about it a million times, like how do you raise a resilient child in the Silicon Valley of California? Like it's a very wealthy area. They're surrounded by wealth and complete, just like
driven
ease.
People, environment.
But like, how do you raise resilient children here? And I think we were at like dance class and the kids were like 3 and 4 being like, do you remember going to like a homeless shelter when you were a kid? Like that used to be something that we would do. And like, we're
going to have to be more
mindful about giving our kids perspective on the world. And,
but when you're saying that, I'm like, the best way to do that is get them in sports.
Yeah.
Like they're going to naturally,
100%.
no matter who you are on the team, best player, wherever you land.
Yes, for sure.
You are going to face adversity. You're going to go through shit.
The best way to do it is sports and travel.
Absolutely.
Travel, sports, travel, sports. That's the only way to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so bullish on team sports, and especially in girls, like what their ability can be like when they're older, what they're going to learn and navigate, but going through resilience, getting cut from teams, getting told they're not good enough, sitting on the bench, having the empathy to understand what it's like to sit on the bench and not be on the starting team.
For sure.
How to be coachable, all of these things. Yep. This is how I think we can teach our kids to be resilient.
Totally.
Like, I don't know. But I got to tell you a story last night. I took the girls to practice. Mm-hmm. Olivia and Gabby, and then Izzy came, and Olivia and Gabby finished practice, and Ricky ended up meeting me at practice. Yeah. And so it's just me, and I come home with all of them, but Ricky was there. So Ricky was like, I'll take Olivia, and me, Gabby, and Izzy came home.
Sure.
30 minutes later, I'm now done cooking. I'm like, where are they? So I call him kind of annoyed, like, where are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Olivia's training with the 2012s.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, what? That girl trained with girls that are 4 years older than her.
Great.
And no, she wasn't the best player. She was by far the best player. And no, she wasn't phenomenal, of course, but for her to have that experience, right? Like for her to not be the best player, for her to have a hard time figuring out how to, these girls were a foot taller than her, but like, that's an example of like putting our kids in situations, resilience. Yep. It's not easy, but they're going to figure it out. It's going to make them bigger, stronger, better in the end. Like those are little ways to like, hey, put them in uncomfortable situations. So I was proud of her for that. I was really proud of her.
And by uncomfortable situations, we don't mean Instagram reels with like,
no,
that's not,
that shit can wait. I'm sorry.
That can wait.
Like, I don't even, I mean, again,
let kids do kid things.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just let them go have fun. Go.
Totally.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have so many more of these conversations as our kids get older and get more into sports, and as intensity and level, you know, and we're going to be talking about all your boys' teams and like all.
Yeah, I'm navigating it with my children. I'm navigating it with seniors in high school. I'm navigating, it's all, there's such a spectrum of the way that kids are being raised and how media is changing and how NIL is changing and what they can do and accomplish. And I also like, there's so many adults that are so anti this social media thing. And I truly believe that it's adults' responsibility to help kids with it, not limit. Like it is what it is. It's how people communicate. This is all communication. I know. So like we have to do a good job of supporting our kids with NIL and supporting our kids with social media and supporting our kids on how to behave and act like good people and be able to function in the real world and function online and function in all these different situations, just like I do every day, just like you do every day.
For sure. Well, so I'm glad that you're on our show and you're going to be talking a lot about social media and branding.
I sure am.
Yeah, you are.
It's a good little marriage we've got.
Yeah, we're a good duo.
We are a good duo.
We always have been. Yep. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah. It's been fun to go through a lot of shit together.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of shit to go through. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Weekly Flex presented by Lycra Brand. We are so excited to bring you this segment of our podcast.
Yeah. We get to flex on what we've done in the week.
Things we've done, things we're proud of.
Yeah. Little things, some big things.
Yeah.
Oof. I got a good one. So we had a trip this weekend and our flight was leaving SFO at 8 a.m., which, is a very early departure.
Yeah,
from
it's like
San Jose.
A 5:30 a.m. departure. Yes. I know that one well. Yep.
Uber was coming at 5:30. Yep. So I was like, fuck, how am I going to work out?
Yeah.
So I told Ricky the night before, I'm going to wake up at 4 and I'm going to go on a run. And he's like, you're not running at 4 a.m. I was like,
smart.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Is that a bad idea? I have my flashlight, my little alarm thing. He's like, no. He's like, do something in the garage. And I was like, the garage? It's only the Peloton. And I haven't done the Peloton in 2 years. I wake up at 4. I'm like, I guess I'm going on the Peloton, which felt so depressing to me to be in my cold garage.
Yeah.
So anyways, I get down there. I'm like, am I doing this? I can't run. He's going to get mad at me. So I literally find my shoes. They have like spider webs and shit in it. Literally, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm committed now. I'm up at 4 a.m. So I like literally clean out the cobwebs. I get in, I buckle myself into the bike. It's been so long. I had to readjust me. I'm like, oh my God. But it also felt like at the same time, like I had never left the bike.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
You're
here
like,
we
wait.
are. And I like see my profile come up. I like press it and it's like password because I haven't been on it. I was like,
it's like,
password?
you haven't been here in a really long time. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know my password.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on. So I go to Ricky's profile.
Oh, cool.
You're welcome, Ricky.
Yep.
Got you a PR. I did, a 45-minute Allie Love climb.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just had a smile on my face.
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness.
get off at 5:10. I'm cutting it close, but I am happy. I am so proud of myself. I am like, I love the Peloton again. And then I like got on the airplane. I was telling Ricky and I was like, I'm not probably going to do the Peloton again another 2 years. But listen, we went on our trip and they had a Peloton in the gym. And I did an hour-long Peloton. So I did Peloton twice. So I might be back on that. I might be back on that train.
Only if you don't have any other options.
Exactly.
It's a good last minute resort.
I mean, it was awesome. It's an amazing workout.
Yeah.
Amazing vibes. I was just like, this is so awesome. And for people that can't go to gyms and don't have the like other, it is actually incredible. And like to have amazing instructors like Allie Love who uplift you just, I was on a high all day. And so, yeah.
Funny story. I've never done it.
I can see you not doing the bike.
I hate it.
I know. But like, give it a chance.
I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, that's a rehab bike. I don't want to go to rehab.
Listen, don't judge.
Yeah.
Get on it. Do a 30
It's the ACL issue in me.
I know.
It's the ACL
but it's
issue.
actually good for our joints.
Oh, yeah. It's totally good for you.
Like, just, it makes you probably think of rehab.
Maybe in a pinch.
Hey, when you've got it, hey, listen, when you want to work out at 4 a.m. and you have no other options, it's a great option.
Okay.
So, yeah,
cool.
Weekly flex.
Weekly flex. Yep. Peloton girl.
I'm back.
You're back.
Maybe.
Kind of. Okay, weekly flex for me. My dad got inducted into the AVCA Hall of Fame. Yeah, super cool. For those who don't know anything about me, my
name's Arielle.
My name's Arielle. My dad actually passed away 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, from stage 4 gastric cancer, and was a pretty legendary coach in the volleyball community, and very sad for my family, just going through the whole experience of stage 4 cancer and everything. Had a couple years of just really hard, which you walked through that with me. And I got the call from my mom this fall, and she told me that my dad was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, which just, it makes me want to cry right now because I just like burst into tears. I've been going to the Final Four and the AVCA convention my entire life. Like I was a 6-year-old at that thing. And so for him to be honored in that way is just a really special thing for my family. So we got to go and celebrate him and his career as a coach and business owner. And he was very multifaceted in volleyball. So it was a really, really special
thing. And your
thing.
mom accepted
And my mom accepted on his behalf, went up and gave an incredible speech of just pretty much how much he loved us. And it was just such a cool thing to be a part of. And nothing ever really happens the way that you think it's going to happen. And I think I always knew that my dad was going to be in the Hall of Fame. For my whole life, I always knew that. And I think that I even imagined like what that was going to be like when he was there. And it just was it never happens the way you think it's going to. And so it was really special no matter what, with everything. It was just a really cool thing. So yeah. Flex.
Ooh, those are different flexes.
Especially with how everything's gone in the volleyball world for me, and like all the stuff, just to like have my dad there still this year. It was just like a really, really cool thing.
You'd be so fucking damn proud of you. Everything you've done, everything you're doing. And for you like to get to this place where you're like, fuck it. I am being who I am.
Yeah.
I am raising all this attention and light to all these things that maybe you hadn't done in the past. And when your dad passed, it was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And he would be so proud.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really special.
very special.
Yeah.
That was such a fun episode for me personally because we talk all the time and I could talk to you for hours, and I feel like that social media, some of the rules that you're trying to change within volleyball, those topics are topics that are heavy in our lives. They're happening around us. They impact us.
Yep.
And we're going to continue to talk about those two issues. And it was engaging to talk to you, hear your perspective. Also interested to hear how other people feel about social media with kids and highlight reels, but like some real shit we talked about.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to hear from the people that are listening to this about their views on all of this stuff too. This is just a normal conversation for you and I, you know, like it's just, this is what we've been talking about all the time for years. And so I am excited to let people into what our conversations have been like as two people in sports. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the feedback on everything.
I know. And now that we're moms and our kids are playing sports too, like it's just sports around us very heavily. Totally.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be a lot of things on both sides on things.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to the inside look at Leslie and Arielle's conversations that we talk about all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Super excited for our next guest that we have coming on.
Just wait. Just wait. So fun.
We'd love to tell you, but we won't.
We can't. You got to tune in. You got to follow us.
Yeah.
Redefine, Spotify, Apple, wherever you follow podcasts. Like us.
Comment.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Comment. Yeah. Follow us. Arielle Houlihan, Leslie Osborne 12.
What's a 12 for?
It was my soccer number on the US team. And
nice.
I haven't changed my handle in 13 years.
Oh,
so
that's amazing.
Again, maybe you can help me out with this.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a name change. I don't know. No, it's fine.
Ooh.
We could.
Wow.
We could consider it.
Redefining moment right there.
Oh, an Instagram handle change. We'll let you guys know if that happens.
There's not much out there these days. I don't know.
That's true. We might be on a new app, finding new names. See you next time.